You know, I've been told that if I want to look like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I really need to practice my smashing. Yeah, that came out really wrong, didn't it? The Smashing Machine is based on the true story of UFC legend Mark Kerr, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Mark Kerr himself. Emily Blunt is in this movie. This was written and directed by Benny Safdie. You might remember him from Uncut Gems, otherwise known as the best thing Adam Sandler has ever done. And this follows the years 1997 through 2000, where MMA fighter Mark Kerr reaches the peak of his career, but faces personal hardships along the way. Namely drug addiction and his marriage issues with his wife Dawn, played by Emily Blunt. Guys, this movie came out right at the start of when all the Oscar contenders are supposed to come out. It is October after all. This was getting some pretty decently good reviews, and Rotten Tomatoes has this at a 74%. Some people have been saying that this could be the role that gets The Rock a nomination at the Academy Awards for Best Actor. Oh, guys, I don't know where to begin. I really don't fucking know where to begin. This movie was terrible. And I hate to be that guy. I hate to be the guy that's not the repeat after me person that's like, oh yeah, The Rock could totally get nominated for this thing. I thought this movie sucked. Now, here's what I will say. There are two minor things that I feel like is holding this movie back from being a complete and utter disaster. First of all, I did mention that this movie takes place between the years 1997 and 2000. And I will give DP Maceo Bishop credit where it's due, because the movie is shot almost like you're watching a family home video. You know those little moments that you captured in your childhood on your JVC cam, and you pop the little mini VHS into the actual VHS itself? You put it on your little 12-inch screen, and you're just taken back and just looking back at the memories that happened in your life, good and bad. Matter of fact, I don't know why you'd want to record the bad memories, but that's kind of what this movie felt like aesthetically, and I'll give it credit for that. And in the acting department, Emily Blunt stole this movie. I'm sorry, if anybody is going to get nominated, it should be her, because there is a specific scene that goes down that is just completely bonkers. And I think Emily Blunt is a strong enough actress where she can sell that as legitimate and as authentic and scary, because I feel like that's what this movie should have been, was a lot scarier. I was waiting for that pin to drop where this guy just becomes an abusive asshole. And I mean, not really. And that gets into my many negatives about this movie. First of all, I love Benny Safdie. I love what he did with Uncut Gems. This script is so trash. The dialogue that is coming out of these people's mouths. Is this how they talk in real life? Because I feel like if I were to come across Mark Kerr and he was talking to me like he was talking to people in this film, I'd be like, number one, you're saying some pretty racist stuff if you're really thinking about it. And number two, I'd be creeped the F out by you, man. And that brings me to Mark Kerr himself. I really don't think that A24 chose the right source material for a movie like this. Because honestly, you really think about the trajectory of what you saw in this film over an hour and 50 minutes, and it's just boring. Literally, these are the 4 steps that you go through in this movie. Step 1, roided out fighter does drugs. He's sticking needles in his arm. Step 2, he argues with Emily Blunt. Step 3, you train. And step 4, you have the actual fight itself, which isn't shot that bad. But then after the fight, you rinse and repeat. And nothing about this story was really drawing me in. Now, speaking of drawing me in, let's talk about the man of the hour, Dwayne Johnson. Look, I will give this man the props where it's due. I will always respect him for the inspiration that he's put on not just me as a performer and as an entertainer, but on my life. When I was 5 years old, I would pop in that VHS of WrestleMania 18, and that was the tape that got me into professional wrestling. And my guy from the very beginning wasn't Kurt Angle, wasn't The Undertaker, wasn't Stone Cold, it was The Rock. And that promo that he cut against Hollywood Hulk Hogan on that tape, I was like, who is this guy? And then I watched him actually wrestle against Hulk Hogan, and I was hooked. And then when he left in 2004 to go do this Hollywood thing, I was like, okay, I respect your decision. He's going to become a big-time superstar. He comes back in 2011 as a big box office draw. And there's just something about The Rock. Whenever you see him on your TV screen, whether it's the movies, whether it's pro wrestling, and he's got the charisma. It draws you in. And it also helps that he has that $1 million smile and he is so incredibly charming. This movie gave him absolutely none of that charm. And I understand why The Rock at this point in his career would take a role like this. He's trying to prove something. He's trying to prove that he can hang with the big dogs in Hollywood. But I'm sorry, and this is all out of love, Rock. There was nothing authentic about this. Aside from when you were pissed off and arguing with Emily Blunt, I believed absolutely nothing about this performance. Nothing felt authentic. This right here, Dwayne Johnson as Mark Kerr, is the epitome of an Oscar bait performance, where you sense that someone who has been dying for that first nomination is dying to get the Academy to recognize them. And am I saying it's out of the question? Am I saying the Academy is going to take this bait? I'm not saying that it's impossible. That does not mean that they should. I did not like this performance at all. And 2025 has been a pretty rough year for Mr. Dwayne. From this performance and from basically backing off of WWE's biggest storyline heading into WrestleMania 41, which I'm still bitter about. You do not insinuate that the biggest babyface of all time and John Cena has sold his soul to the final boss. And right when the story is beginning, you don't sit there and say, no, my work here is done. Sometimes when I say things out of love, I'm saying things as harsh truths. You don't get to spin it in the way that makes us believe that this is the right thing to do, Dwayne.
Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's this movie really... And it makes me sad, man, because I was hyping it up to a bunch of my friends and I was like, look, this movie could be the one that wins The Rock an Oscar. Now, he definitely should not after sitting through it myself. But one of my friends was sitting there, and Peter, shout out to you, but he said, if The Rock wins an Oscar, I will literally eat a rock. And you know what? I might just take myself up on that bargain too. And it's just such an awkward way for a true story movie like this to end. I don't know if I should delve too deep into spoilers, but the real Mark Kerr actually does make an appearance towards the end of this flick. And it just feels so awkwardly placed. And I hate saying this, but the direction of this movie and how certain actors were blocked in certain scenes, like, yeah, there's some decent enough little mirror choreography with some of the actors. And I was seeing what Benny Safdie was trying to do. This movie does not draw me in. And that's crazy because this is about a guy who started off as a freestyle wrestler and went into mixed martial arts. This is a movie that should be right up my alley. This should be right up there with The Wrestler, like Darren Aronofsky put out. Phenomenal film. Warrior. You want an excellent movie about mixed martial arts? Go watch that film. That was so good. And I'll bring this into the equation because it is another A24 movie, but The Iron Claw. Now, if this movie cannot get any sort of recognition from the Academy, but this movie does, that's where I'll be pissed off. Because The Iron Claw was actually a phenomenal film. Zack Efron, I don't understand how he was not nominated for that film. I really don't. And I will be especially mad if his Baywatch co-star gets a nomination for this hunk of garbage. Again, some decent cinematography that really puts you into the time period. Emily Blunt's trying her damnedest. And yeah, The Rock's trying his damnedest, but it doesn't work. It really doesn't. I'm sorry. I'm going to give The Smashing Machine a D+. And even still, some of you might be watching this movie and hearing my rant and thinking that that score is too generous. But I just simply cannot believe that the guy who did Uncut Gems would be capable of putting out one of the worst movies of 2025, in my opinion. But a lot of you guys seem to love this movie and you don't mind that The Rock was doing a lot of fake crying. That is totally fine by me, man. You do you. But let me know what you thought, guys. This was a really, really fun little video to put together. Hit that subscribe button if you're new and tap on that thumbs up as well. Thank you so much again for continuing to support this channel. Y'all are the best. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.